Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Practice English with Podcast. I'm Jessica, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Before we start, I have a question for you. When was the last time you ate something truly delicious? Can you remember that amazing meal? The taste, the smell, the feeling of happiness when you took that first bite? Well, today we're going to talk all about food, and more importantly, how to describe a recent meal you enjoyed in English. This episode is perfect for you if you want to talk about your favorite foods, share your dining experiences with English-speaking friends, or simply learn useful vocabulary and expressions for everyday conversations about meals. And the best part? You're going to practice speaking along with me using a technique called shadowing. Now, what exactly is shadowing? Shadowing is a powerful language learning method where you listen to someone speak and repeat what they say immediately after them, like an echo or a shadow. You don't need to pause the video. Just listen to me speak and then repeat my words right after me. Try to copy my pronunciation, my rhythm, and my intonation. It's okay if you can't catch every word at first. The more you practice shadowing, the better you'll become at speaking naturally and fluently. Today, I'm going to share with you the story of a wonderful meal I had recently, and I'll use simple, clear English so you can follow along easily. I'll also repeat important phrases and use different ways to say the same thing so you can build your vocabulary naturally. Are you ready? Let's begin. Let me tell you about an amazing meal I had last weekend. It was Saturday evening, around 7 o'clock. The weather was beautiful. The sun was setting, and there was a cool breeze in the air. I was meeting my friend Sarah at a new Italian restaurant downtown. I was really excited because I had heard wonderful things about this place. People said the food was incredible and the atmosphere was cozy and romantic. When I arrived at the restaurant, I was immediately impressed. The outside of the building was charming. There were small lights hanging from the trees, and you could see warm, golden light coming from inside. I walked through the front door, and a friendly hostess greeted me with a big smile. "Good evening. Welcome to Bella Notte," she said. Bella Notte means beautiful night in Italian. What a perfect name for a restaurant. The inside was even more beautiful than the outside. There were wooden tables with white tablecloths. Candles were flickering on every table, creating a soft, warm glow. Italian music was playing quietly in the background. I could smell amazing aromas coming from the kitchen. Garlic, herbs, and fresh bread. My mouth started watering immediately. Sarah was already there, sitting at a table near the window. I walked over and sat down across from her. We were both so hungry and excited to try the food. The waiter came to our table right away. He was a young man with dark hair and a friendly smile. He handed us the menus and told us about the special dishes of the day. Looking at the menu was difficult because everything sounded delicious. There were so many choices. Should I order pasta or pizza? Maybe a risotto? Sarah and I discussed what we wanted to order. We decided to share a few dishes so we could try different things. This is something I love to do at restaurants. Sharing food with friends means you can taste more variety. We started by ordering an appetizer. We chose the bruschetta. Do you know what bruschetta is? It's toasted bread with tomatoes, garlic, basil, and olive oil on top. It's simple, but when it's made well, it's absolutely delicious. We also ordered a caprese salad to share. A caprese salad has fresh mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, and basil leaves on top, with olive oil and balsamic vinegar drizzled on top. For the main course, I ordered mushroom risotto. Risotto is an Italian rice dish that's creamy and rich. I love mushrooms, so this was a perfect choice for me. Sarah ordered spaghetti carbonara. Carbonara is a pasta dish made with eggs, cheese, bacon, and black pepper. It's one of the most famous Italian pasta dishes. We also decided to order a pizza to share because, well, we were at an Italian restaurant. How could we not have pizza? We chose a margarita pizza. This classic pizza has tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, and fresh basil. Sometimes the simplest dishes are the best. The waiter wrote down our order and smiled. He said, "Excellent choices. Your food will be ready soon." Then he brought us some water and a basket of warm bread while we waited. The bread was so fresh and soft. We put some olive oil on small plates and dipped the bread into it. Even the bread was amazing.
After about 15 minutes, the waiter returned with our appetizers. First came the bruschetta. The bread was perfectly toasted, crispy on the outside, but still a little soft inside. The tomatoes on top were fresh and juicy. I could taste the garlic and the sweet basil. Each bite was a perfect combination of flavors. The olive oil they used was high quality. You could tell because it had a rich, fruity taste. Next came the caprese salad. The mozzarella was so fresh and creamy. It was not like the mozzarella you buy at the supermarket. This was real, authentic Italian mozzarella. It practically melted in your mouth. The tomatoes were ripe and sweet. The basil added a fresh, herby flavor. And the balsamic vinegar was slightly sweet and tangy. Everything worked together perfectly. Sarah and I were already impressed, and we hadn't even gotten to the main course yet. We talked and laughed while we ate the appetizers. The restaurant was getting busier now. More people were coming in for dinner. There was a pleasant buzz of conversation all around us. Then our main dishes arrived. The waiter brought them on large white plates. Everything looked beautiful. Italians really know how to present food well. My mushroom risotto came first. It looked creamy and rich. I could see pieces of mushroom throughout the rice. There was a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese on top and a small sprig of fresh herbs for decoration. Sarah's carbonara looked incredible too. The pasta was coated in a creamy sauce, and there were pieces of crispy bacon mixed in. You could see the black pepper sprinkled on top. And the pizza? Oh, the pizza looked perfect. The crust was thin and slightly charred in places from the oven. The cheese was melted and bubbly. The fresh basil on top was bright green and aromatic. I picked up my fork and took my first bite of the risotto. Oh my goodness, it was heavenly. The rice was cooked perfectly. It had that ideal creamy texture that good risotto should have. It wasn't too thick and not too thin. The mushrooms were earthy and flavorful. They had been cooked with garlic and herbs, so they tasted rich and savory. The Parmesan cheese added a salty, nutty flavor that balanced everything perfectly. I closed my eyes for a moment just to enjoy the taste. This was exactly what I needed after a long week of work. Good food has a way of making you feel happy and relaxed, doesn't it? Sarah tried her carbonara and her eyes lit up. "This is amazing," she said. She let me try a bite, and wow, she was right. The pasta was cooked al dente, which means it was firm to the bite, not too soft. The sauce was creamy and rich, with that distinctive flavor of eggs and cheese mixed with the salty bacon. The black pepper added a little kick of spice. Then we tried the pizza. When you cut into a good pizza, you can hear that satisfying sound of the crust crunching. The crust was thin, but sturdy enough to hold all the toppings. The tomato sauce was fresh and slightly sweet. The mozzarella was gooey and stringy when you pulled a slice away from the pizza, and the fresh basil added that perfect aromatic touch. It was simple, but absolutely perfect. We ate slowly, savoring every bite. We shared our dishes, passing plates back and forth across the table. I tried some of Sarah's carbonara, and she tried my risotto. We both agreed that every single dish was delicious. The pizza disappeared quickly. We couldn't stop eating it. The waiter came by to check on us. "How is everything?" he asked. "It's wonderful," I told him. "Everything is absolutely delicious." He smiled proudly. You could tell he was happy that we were enjoying the food.
After we finished our main courses, we sat back in our chairs, feeling satisfied and happy. We were quite full, but the waiter mentioned dessert and we couldn't resist. We decided to share a tiramisu. Do you know tiramisu? It's a famous Italian dessert made with coffee-soaked ladyfinger cookies, mascarpone cheese, and cocoa powder. When the tiramisu arrived, it looked elegant in a small glass dish. The top was dusted with dark cocoa powder. I took a spoonful and tasted it. It was incredible. The dessert was light but rich at the same time. The coffee flavor was strong but not too bitter. The mascarpone cream was smooth and sweet. Each layer melted together in your mouth. It was the perfect ending to a perfect meal. Sarah and I sat there for a while longer, drinking coffee and talking. We watched people walking by outside the window. The restaurant was still busy, full of people enjoying their dinners. There was something magical about the whole evening. The good food, the warm atmosphere, the great company. When we finally asked for the bill, we were surprised at how reasonable the prices were. For such high-quality food and such a lovely experience, we expected it to cost more. We left a generous tip for our waiter because the service had been excellent. As we left the restaurant and stepped out into the cool night air, I felt completely content. My stomach was full, my heart was happy, and I had spent a wonderful evening with a good friend. That meal was more than just food. It was an experience. It reminded me why I love trying new restaurants and exploring different cuisines. So, that's the story of my recent meal at Bellinate. I hope you enjoyed listening to my description, and more importantly, I hope you practice your English by shadowing along with me. Describing a meal is such a practical skill in English. You can use these expressions when you're talking with friends, writing reviews online, or recommending restaurants to others. Let me give you some key phrases you can use when describing your own meals. You can say, "The food was delicious," "Everything tasted amazing," "The flavors were incredible," "It was cooked perfectly," "The atmosphere was cozy and romantic," "The service was excellent," "I would definitely go back," or "I highly recommend this place." When describing specific foods, you can use words like creamy, crispy, juicy, fresh, rich, flavorful, savory, sweet, tangy, aromatic, tender, and perfectly cooked. Remember, the more you practice describing things in English, the more natural it becomes. Food is a universal topic that everyone enjoys talking about, so it's a great way to practice your conversation skills. Thank you so much for joining me today on Practice English with Podcast. I hope this episode helped you improve your speaking and listening skills. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and most importantly, keep enjoying the process of learning English. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, happy eating and happy learning. This is Jessica, saying goodbye for now. Take care, everyone.